going to go ahead and take this, and then it'll be closed caption for those who struggle with hearing. My name's Bob Forward. I'm new here. Hi, Bob. First I want to talk about that. This is going to be just a general outline of some of the things that have happened over the last week or so. We'll get into more specifics next month, but I wanted you to have an idea exactly where we're at. Anyway, first with the website. Is the TV's on? First with the website. And the website is not operational yet. So you could frustrate yourself right to death trying to log on. So don't do that. I'll send out an email when the website is operational. JW, you won't be able to hear a thing. I'll write it, and then we'll let you know. Okay, can everybody hear me okay?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so the website is not operational, and it will, as soon as it is, I'll let you know.
How?
I'll email you, like I did today. I actually did that out of the tournament pairing program, the way we used to do it years ago, back in the horse and buggy age. Anyway, the first thing I wanted to tell you is that we have had a major staff change here at Lake Wales Country Club. Bud Hart, the food and beverage director, is no longer with us. It's always sad when somebody loses their job, and it was really just an upper level management decision, right from Golf Visions, being represented today by Warren Latavsky down there, who's Vice President of Operations for Florida. And anyway, so Bud is no longer with us. And Mia will remain in charge of the kitchen. And I'm going to help, hopefully, to conduct the orchestra and to provide those things that we really need to be able to provide for you. Let the Irbies come in. You're late. Just put 20 in the collection plate and don't worry about it. Find a spot. You know, the numbers tell the story. Those of you that remember our town hall meetings from 2 years ago. Remember me putting a number on the board. You guys remember that? $2,040, which extrapolated out to $204,000 that we felt we had to raise in excess of what the dues were just to keep our heads above water when I kind of told you that Mr. Griffin no longer wanted to support the golf operation. Well, last year, in the fiscal year that ended October 31st, those groups and tournaments generated $258,966.
Wow.
$258,966. And I'll say that you didn't get inconvenienced a whole lot. And thank you for your support. And more than that, thank you for caring enough about your club to understand how the fiscal realities of it have changed. And we did it together. I didn't just implement this. We talked about it. I told you what we were going to do, that we were going to have these groups, that people from Walmart wouldn't be able to make tea times, and those of you who sit in the pro shop know that that's true. So, anyway, $258,966 we, as a group, raised to keep our club private.
That's great.
And we've been thrown a few curves. You know, Mr. Griffin hired Masterlink 2 years ago when I gave up the general manager's job. It wasn't feasible for me to try to do what they were asking me to do. It wasn't fair to you. And then the club was sold. Sold to this time to golf people. And Warren was in that first meeting, and everybody was asked to say something. And I said to Tim Miles and to Warren, in my understated self, it's about time we're responsible for our actions. About time we were accountable as a staff for what we did. And I probably turned them off, but in the end, it's true, because we all are accountable for everything we do. And because Golf Visions bought this place, and because of what we had done, or Golf Visions lead from Mr. Klaus, Lake Wales Country Club and Golf Visions have bought into the idea that we are a viable private club. I don't think when they will step foot in this, and I won't ask Warren to comment on this, but I don't think they thought that. I'm not so sure they thought that. But we got a plan, and we developed a plan together, and the plan is working. So a private club. We're a viable private club, but that's not the connotation that a private club was 10 years ago. I mean, 10 years ago, if you saw, well, this is obviously wonderful competition out here today, by the way. You guys need to watch this tomorrow. Several tour players. But several years ago, 5 or 6 years ago, if we had groups running around this golf course, I guarantee you Miss Baker would have been all over me. Where is she?
Oh, real?
She's been all over me. Who are these people? But now it's, yeah, Bob, go get them. And I only pick on her because I love her. And we've changed. We've changed as a group. We've changed to understand that being a private club right now in this world is just hanging on. We're just hanging on. And we're hanging on together. And we're hanging on together by these groups and by driving revenue. Golf Visions has come in and they've dropped the food minimum. That's a pretty big deal. Big number. They've said, we don't want that $50,000 that you're going to give us for nothing. We want to earn it. We want to earn your trust, and we don't want money for doing nothing. I'll take it, but they don't want it. Food minimums were a funny situation in that when you pitched a membership to a person and that membership was $4,000 and they asked what the minimum was and you told them it was $600, their dues automatically went to $4,600. Now, those of you that have been members of private clubs for years don't think that way. But the type of person and the people that we've talked to over the last few years saw that food minimum as a barrier as opposed to a inducement to join. So for Golf Visions to come up and say, you know what, we have enough faith in this membership, and when we get the food operation turned around, we feel like we don't need their money for nothing. We want their money for something. We want their money because we're going to provide and meet their needs. So I thought that was a big step for Golf Visions to take. There's going to be more changes to come. There's going to be many more changes to come. And they're all with the future of this club in mind, in keeping with a model of efficiency that Tim Miles spoke about at that original meeting and in the letter that he sent to the membership announcing the drop of food minimum. And he's laid that out in all of his communications. I'm sure Mountain Lake, our wonderful neighbor, never dreamed that they would chase outings to get into their hotel, to fill their hotel that was just for their members and their guests of their members since 1916. Right? Well, they're chasing the same dollars we are. We're all in the same boat. But you know what? We're winning the war. We're winning the war. $258,000 worth of victory. That's a big win. Maybe more next year. And anyway, it's a different world. And I wanted you to be aware of how far we've come. Because that number used to be minuscule. That number does not include guests and members, what I overcharge the ladies, what I overcharge the Polk County women, and what I overcharge the men's member guests. Because Ron Portis just pays me what I ask him for. Anyway, I hope you grow to trust me. I really do. And to understand that we're in this together. And this appointment for me to become the general manager of this club is a second chance to put Lake Wales on solid ground. I did it for 8 or 10 years, and I did it with my hands tied behind my back. Many, many, many nights, I just wondered how I was going to go back to work the next day, because nobody was accountable. Nobody was accountable. Nobody played by the rules. They didn't have to play by the rules. It takes special people when you don't have to play by the rules to continue to play by the rules, as we as golfers do. You know, as a side, like just, and this totally off the wall, but did anybody read what Tiger said in golf and today or yesterday at the press conference? He said, and this boggles my mind, he said, they asked him if he would ever call in a ruling. Call in a ruling. If somebody broke a rule, would you ever call it in? He said, you know, when Kobe travels, nobody calls it in. And when an offensive lineman holds, nobody calls it in. Why should we be obligated to play by the rules if nobody's, it's just mind-boggling. That's not what we're about. We're about golf, and we're about integrity, and we're about honesty, and we're about doing the right thing when we don't have to do the right thing. And then this guy says that, and I'm the biggest Tiger fan in the world, or I was. But Anyway, I don't intend to fail. I don't intend to fail. We, as a group, don't intend to fail. I'll guarantee you Warren down there will tell me they support me 100%. They support this club 100%. There's no doubt. So, here's my promises. I talked many times to the Griffins and to Terry Kettle from Masterlink about Mrs. Jones' cheeseburger. And that's just a thing I had about Mrs. Jones' cheeseburger. When Mrs. Jones couldn't come in the restaurant and expect to be able to get a cheeseburger cooked properly, served right at a decent price. So before we worry about chicken cordon bleu or flambé or buffets or anything else, let's get one thing right. Let's get taking care of this membership and taking care of the customers right. Let's get that right. Let's do one thing right and then do another thing right. And eventually we're going to get the hang of this. If we learn to do one thing right and then move on and keep it simple and basic, just like we have in the golf operation. That you're going to trust me, because if I tell you to go tee off on 13, you know when you come around here, you're not going to have to wait. Well, that one time you had to go to 7 and play 7, 8, 9. But we work hard at it. We work hard to meet your needs. In the golf operation, and the girls here have worked hard to meet your needs. It's just nobody's directing the orchestra. It's time to step up. So my promises are pretty simple. I promise to meet or exceed your needs. I promise I'll do that. I promise to provide the kind of service you have come to expect in the golf operation. On the side of a Jack Daniels box, I've heard. It says, all goods are worth the price charged. It says it on the side of the box. If you ever buy a case of it, and you just want to keep the box and bring us the whiskey, that's okay. But that's what it says. All goods are worth the price that we charge. And I'd like to be able to say that to you. So we're going to work hard to be able to say that to you, that all goods are worth the price charged. We're going to examine the prep times and the menu offerings and try to meet your needs in those areas. Now, because this is a two-way street, I have expectations from all of you. I expect things from you as members. Because if we do all those things and we're doing it for an empty table, then it didn't do a hell of a lot of good. You know, I always said, if the customer's not coming to you, it's not their fault, it's your fault. You've not met their needs. And it's very important to management and to staff to understand that. We can't be mad at Mrs. Jones because she doesn't get her cheeseburgers. The last 6 times she comes in, it was burned. Or the last 7 times she came in, it was $17. Or whatever. That's an exaggeration. But that's important. So my expectations for you as members is to give us the opportunity to provide service and quality food to you. Give us that opportunity. Give them a beer, quickly. Well, I need a beer. If you don't get a bar, I can't talk. You just keep doing that. I ask for patience as we work through this. We've got great people here. Some of the days when you come off the golf course, it'll be me or Tim or Sibo over here tending bar. Because we're going to kind of consolidate in the summer. I think the best summer we had was 3 years ago when we had the bar in the pro shop. And boy, what a great summer. So we're just going to kind of loosen that up a little bit and move the pro shop over to the bar. So let the girls get out of here when they can, so they don't have to sit here all day, and we do. So anyway, and again, Golf Visions is all about that. They're all about consolidating and people multitasking and everything else. I expect positive feedback. And positive feedback can be in a negative tone or something negative, but let's keep it positive and let's try to move through and work through things together. And we need to all be out there selling your club to the community. I think we have a lot to offer. We've seen that with the fish fries, inviting the public to come to the dining room on Friday nights for fish fries. It's fun in here. It's loud. It's fun. For those who've been here, great. If you haven't, you need to come out. $20 for 2 fish fries to have a hoot. Anyway, that's what I got to say, and that's my story. And we'll have more to announce next month.